I was in there probably between about 8-10 minutes, something like that. And I don't know what happened, but man, I started getting dizzy. Felt like I was going to pass out. Good morning, good morning. Y'all probably know where we're at. Culvert job. That's right, we finally made our way back over here to the culvert job. It's been about a week since we drained it. That looks a lot better than previously. Excellent, excellent, excellent. Really good. So now we've got something that we can work with. We are going to spend the first part of our time here looking around, trying to get an idea of things. That's one of our cameras that we had set up right there. Another camera here. We've been monitoring the situation from home, and there was nothing to report. So, well, I got no triggers on the camera, and the daily shots that it sends me, I saw no fluctuation in water level, up or down. So that just tells me that they haven't yet started to dam it back up. So maybe we can put a hurt on them before they dam it back up. That way we can keep it from happening for a while. This place is surrounded by swamp and creek, so I can't say that more beavers won't show up at another time, but for right now, I think we have a chance to get them under control. We will see, but we are going to just evaluate the area. We're going to walk up and down here, looking around. I had heard it from a couple of different places that if the water level fluctuates bad enough, like all of a sudden, that the beavers will leave. I'm not sure if that's the case. I'm listening. I can still hear water draining out. I haven't looked in this pipe since we busted this dam, so I'm about to pop my head in here and look. But maybe it's possible that we disturbed them enough that they left. They will come back eventually, but they could have left for the time being. And again, I don't know how true that statement is. That's just what I've read in a couple of places, what I've been told. So y'all know we are in prime snake season, and we are in prime snake habitat. So we're keeping our eyes open. But we're gonna try and poke our head down in here. There could also be some wasps down in here. We don't want none of that either. And we don't want to get our phone down in the water, drop our phone down in the water either. So all of these things we are taking into consideration. Oh man. So I'm gonna put my phone down in here. I ain't gonna be able to see while filming. We're just gonna take a look. Y'all tell me what y'all can see. I can't see down in there. Tell me what you think. Tell me what you see. I'm still above the pipe, so I can't see down in there. And I'm sinking. Oh. See if I can get back out. I don't have my waders on yet. Oosh. So I don't know how bad it looks in there, what all we busted loose. But we're gonna try and get some sets in the water. We're gonna try and get a lot of sets in the water. We are gonna be trapping all along this bank. This is the little creek that goes towards the cabin that's on the property. And all this is supposed to be drainage. It dries up down there, and there's no like creek feeding this. All that I know that's feeding this is underground springs that are running off from the high ground up here on this side. All this is higher up, higher ground, and springs feed into this, and that's it. So this is how this could even go down a lot more. Because that right there is still pretty deep. All that right there, that's deep. So we're gonna walk around, scout around, and see what we can come up with. All these bank dens that y'all see right here, that's where the beavers are staying at. There is no hut or anything on this body of water. This little creek that I have found, and I've walked the whole thing. I mean, the whole thing is visible. There's no spot where they could build a hut that I wouldn't see it. So all of this is just from beavers that are staying in these dens when they are here. And like I said, it's been a week and they haven't tried to do anything with it. So we're gonna see. I'm actually gonna stop the video now. I'm gonna walk back to my truck, get my waders on. I'm gonna stop the video. And I'm gonna look at the video I just took of inside that culvert so I can see what y'all saw and see if anything stands out. Walking over here to the other side on the low end of the culvert to take a look down here. Again, we're just watching where we're stepping. And I feel like it should be coming out more than that. I do. So we're gonna stop the video and take a look and see what was inside it. All right, just looked at the video and there's still a lot of debris in there. It looks like we unplugged just a section of it, just a corner of it. And we wouldn't have been able to tell that the other day because the water was so high. So there's still a good portion of debris in that culvert. All right, so this is further up from the culvert. Okay, so this is the dry, we'll call it the dry end. This is the lowest portion, right? The further you go that way, the deeper it goes, and that's toward the cabin. So this is back up this direction. I want to show y'all something. I'm not sure it was even this low when I was here originally a couple of months ago. Guys, I'm just trying to be careful not to step on something. I'm trying to get y'all the best view here. Okay. And I don't know if that's going to be good enough. You can see part of it. You see all those sticks right there? That big old pile of sticks. That's a feed bed. All that was underwater. So that's where they pile up a bunch of sticks to feed on. Let's walk further back. All right, I gotta take care of a fly real quick, horse fly. Whew. Man, I'm telling you, during the summer months of Alabama, there's so many things that are trying to get you. Good gracious. If it ain't for the ticks, the red bugs, the horse flies, the mosquitoes, the gnats. Then you got the snakes. And here in Alabama, in these creeks, you got alligators. Oh, everything, man. Oh, I can't stand summertime. Anyways, so that's that little feed bed. Well, it's kind of large, but that's one feed bed that I showed you just a second ago. Now look at that. I can't tell y'all how big that is, and it's not going to show up that well on film. You're not going to get a good idea of it, but that is a pretty significant feed bed right there. That is pretty big. Pretty big. So walk over here, see if we can get a closer look and see if there's anything else further up here. There you go. That's pretty big, guys, pretty big. That's just where they've chewed stuff down and they brought it over there and they've piled it all up. It's pretty large. I don't know how many beavers are in this area, but for them to be able to stack that up that big, that's fairly large. I don't know what that piece of metal is right there. I have no idea. Interesting. Oh, my goodness. I told y'all in a previous video that I'm not looking for any extra beaver jobs right now because of all the crap that's out here during the warm months. But I kind of felt obligated with this one because it was one that I just worked on. And it was a pretty bad situation. If y'all saw the culvert being busted out, y'all saw how bad it was. So I just wanted to help the guy out. But man, I wouldn't mind if I had my choice. I would put this off until October or November once we get a couple of good freezes. Ooh, so you can see a bunch of stobs down through there, and that's just a bunch of fresh stobs. There's a couple of examples right there. And that's just where those beavers are chewing, chewing, chewing. That's just what beavers do. Just what they do. So this is where the water drains out of the hill over here. It just turns into a little mud hole back here. All right, this is what we got to work with. So I'll try not to drop my phone, but I'm get to work putting these traps out. I have got about a dozen, a little over a dozen traps. We'll see, and I'll show y'all each one when I get done. But I'm not a fan of wading over there through that creek on the other side. Those sides all grown up. That's just how you get snake bit. You can be as careful as you want to, as careful as you can. But something like this, you just most likely gonna get snake bit. All right, let's see what we can do, guys. All right, guys. After looking at that culvert and talking with my trapping mentor, I guess you could call him, pretty much what he is. After talking with him and telling him what was going on out here, me and him both agree that it would be in the best interest of the property and property owner not to put the traps out yet, but to break this dam further, because as y'all saw in that little clip, there's only a small portion that's actually open, right? So if there was a big storm, rainstorm, any kind of little debris could plug that up pretty fast, and then we would just be in the same situation again. So with it being like that, I think it's best if I go in there and pull out some more stuff and see if we can get this to drain more. Which means if I get it flowing real good, that means I wouldn't be putting traps out, which I don't like the thought of that, because I wanted to put traps out today. We need to get traps out, but it just doesn't do the property any good leaving that right there. You know what I'm saying? Because that's over halfway full, you know. And it wouldn't take nothing. It wouldn't take nothing to plug that up. So it's halfway full. Think of it as a pie. And you got 1/4 open. The other 3/4 are plugged. So I know that the beavers ain't actively damming it up, because I was able to watch the water level drop the whole time from my 2 cameras. And then it's maintained its level once it stopped. So I know they're not plugging it up. So with them not being active right now, I think it's a good idea to go ahead and bust it some more. The only hesitation I'm having is we're in snake season. And y'all can see there is not any room to maneuver in here. And if I get in there and start messing around and a snake comes out, I mean, he is going to be on top of me. Just a sucky situation. But I feel like it's the best thing to do for the customer, to give him the best chances of this not happening for a while. The beavers are going to come back. At some point, they're going to come back. But I think if we bust this, we get a screen of some sort put in front of the culvert here, that's going to be his best shot. So I'm going to get in here and try and dig some of this stuff out, and without getting soaking wet, or without getting bit by something. So y'all stick around and I'll show you what happens next. I'm not sure what will happen next, but whatever happens next, I'll show you. Y'all can't tell, but that water is still super deep right here. Gotta bust it up. All right, let's get it. All right. In a unexpected chain of events, I ended up putting my complete waders on, I suppose. It was such a tight spot and I was getting wet, so I came up here to change and put my waders on, then I went back down in there. I was in there probably between about 8-10 minutes, something like that. And I don't know what happened, but man, I started getting dizzy, felt like I was going to pass out. So I came out as fast as I could, and I was stumbling up on the bank here. Oh, that was weird, guys. That was weird. I don't know exactly what happened. The only theory that I could figure out is I was running low on oxygen, maybe. I have no idea. It was probably a good 4. I don't know. I couldn't reach the back of it with my rake, so I imagine about 7 or 8 feet. Whew, yeah. Kneel down for a second. It was about 7 or 8 feet. Oh man, down in there, because I was on my hands and knees. Ooh, I'm having to sit down to catch my breath. There's culvert. It was about 7 or 8 feet back in there. Because like I said, I couldn't reach the back with the rake that I had. So I was like in there on my hands and knees in that water, trying to pull that stuff out, or trying to push through the back of it with my rake. And like I said, I got dizzy all of a sudden. So I climbed back out, but I'm debating now on whether I should go back in there or not, because I want to get that stuff out, but
if it's a low oxygen situation, because I'm not hot. I don't feel too hot. Like I'd been hydrated and everything before I got here. Didn't feel hot. Just all of a sudden I started getting dizzy. So I don't know what in the world just happened. But I called my brother-in-law, one of my brother-in-laws, one that's been on this job with me before. He was the only one I thought of off the top of my head that knew where I was at, or would know where I was at. If I'd called my wife, she wouldn't have had a clue, and then she would have panicked. So I called him, and he stayed on the phone with me for a little bit. Then he checked back up with me 5 minutes later. I've been out for about 15 minutes. I still don't feel 100%. Weird. Very weird. I'm not sure what happened. Oh, man. I don't know. I do not know. Feeling better than I was. I'm not as dizzy as I was. Like I was stumbling up the bank right there going around. Oh, just trying to catch my breath. Not sure what that was about. That was weird. And I'm not for certain I need to go back in there and do that again. Probably not. So now I'm left questioning what to do. We need to bust the rest of that out. Because any kind of storm is going to plug it back up. The beavers are not active. So if I put traps out, it's unlikely that they would be here tonight or the next night, because it's been a week and they haven't showed up. And on this property, the last time I trapped it, it took them a month to come back after I busted the dam. So I think it's best that drawing a blank, guys. Still a little hazy. That's so weird. I don't know what happened. I think it's best that we get that plug undone first before I put traps out. We need to get this water drained out the rest of the way. And like I said earlier, it's the shape of a pie. Just imagine a pie and there's only one section that's out of it and the rest of it's plugged up. Wouldn't take much to plug it up at all. Putting traps out would just be a waste, and my customer wouldn't get his money's worth. Because that's when the clock starts, really. That's when I start charging, is when the traps go in the water. Right now I'm kind of just doing this just to, I guess you could call it, for free, which ain't a smart business plan. Oh, man. All right, we're going to call it at that because I don't know what I'm going to do next. But whatever happens next, I will inform y'all of it. And with that being said, y'all be good. All right, guys, we are back in action. How weird was that? Let's see if I can prop y'all up here. Y'all still running? Oh, yeah. See if I can keep y'all going up there. How weird was that? So yeah, I almost passed out. I'm feeling a lot better now. But I got on the phone with my customer, and he says he wants to do it right. He wants to get that culvert completely cleaned out. So y'all saw how much of that was plugged, and if you think of it as the shape of a pie, we knocked out 1/4 of that pie. So it wouldn't even take beavers to stop that up again. Any kind of rainstorm, anything like that, would put y'all down when I tie my boots. Any kind of rainstorm, heavy rain, would wash debris in there and would plug that up. And if I had my traps out, it would be it would just make them useless pretty much. And trapping on creeks, you have to take that into consideration. If y'all remember that original creek job I did back in February, I trapped on a creek, didn't take into account the rain that was coming, and a bunch of my traps got washed away. I don't know if y'all remember that or not, but that's the same thing that we're dealing with here. If that water level rises, and it just makes the traps useless, and I don't want to be charging my customer for odds that are not in his favor. Trapping is all about odds, guys. It's just trying to get the best chance that you can, stacking those odds up in your favor, to get the best chance you can to catch an animal, catch a critter, whether it's coyotes, beavers, whatever. You're just trying to get as many odds as in your favor as you can. And it wouldn't be right for me to charge my customer when I know for a fact he's not going to get the best opportunity to catch something. So I talked with him, and he wants to do it the right way the first time, which is awesome. We're not going to band-aid it. We're not going to take any shortcuts. We're going to get Parker with Do More Outdoors back out here again, and we are going to get this plug cleaned out. And now that we can see the pipe in its entirety, see the contents of it, still running a little short on breath. We can get that thing knocked out completely this time. And we're going to go ahead and get some chain, and we're going to attach it to either an old tire, boat anchor, or something. That way we can pull a plug out from outside of the culvert, and we don't have to worry about it being inside. You know what I'm saying? And I'd also like to look into getting a grate of some sort to sit in front of that. I think that would do really well, because that way it would keep the debris from being inside at all, and all you would have to do is break the dam outside of the culvert. So I think that that's a good idea, and I'm going to look into that for my customer also. But man, I love working with good customers. I haven't had a bad customer yet. Thank goodness. Everybody that I've run into has been super cool. Everybody's paid me, and everybody's wanted to do it the right way. But I've been on other jobs where people don't want to do it the right way. They want to take a shortcut, and it just don't work out in the long run. It ends up costing more money and a lot more man hours to fix. But now that I've got my breath back, still don't know what in the world happened. Because like I said, I had a good breakfast. I was hydrated plenty. And let's go ahead and clear this way. I was hydrated plenty. And I'm gonna sit this down real quick. I was hydrated plenty, and I didn't feel hot at all. It just all of a sudden felt like I was about to pass out if I didn't get out. So I think it might have been a low oxygen type thing. I'm not sure. Not sure at all. So anyway, this is going to be the wrap. We're going to come back and get this plug out. Need to get it out within the week, so we'll see how that goes. So we'll keep y'all updated. The culverting job continues. Y'all be good.